Take a breath, settle in. This is a guided walkthrough, You Can't Hurt Me, by David Goggins. Not a blow-by-blow of every race or military mission, but a clear, honest map of the ideas that can change how you see limits, pain, and what's possible. Over the next few minutes, you'll meet the tools Goggins uses, the brutal honesty of the accountability mirror, the fuel of the cookie jar, and the idea that when your mind screams enough, you're often only at 40%. I'll tell the stories that matter, translate them into practical steps, and leave you with short exercises you can use today. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about learning to reach farther than you thought you could, one small, relentless choice at a time. Ready? Let's start with the life behind the lessons, how a kid from a broken home became a man who uses pain as a tool. 1. Who is David Goggins? Goggins was not born a hero. He grew up with poverty, an abusive home, and learning struggles. He failed repeatedly, academically and physically, until he decided to stop accepting limits he hadn't chosen. He became a Navy SEAL, an ultra-endurance athlete, and someone who deliberately seeks discomfort to grow. The point isn't his accolades, it's the way he turned pain into a tool. 2. The central idea, the 40% rule. One of Goggins' core ideas is simple and brutal. When your mind tells you you're done, you're really only about 40% done. That voice is a safeguard, a liar of convenience. Think of it like a smartphone battery that shows 20%, but actually has plenty more power if you close unnecessary apps. Goggins teaches that most of our suffering ends early because we let fear, laziness, and habit press the off button. 3. The accountability mirror. Goggins uses a practice he calls the accountability mirror. Every morning, he faces himself and names brutal truths, where he's weak, what he's avoided, what excuses he's told. It's not about shame, it's about clarity. If you want to change, you must first be honest with the person you see in the mirror. Put sticky notes of your promises where you can see them. Treat the mirror as a coach who doesn't tolerate excuses. 4. The cookie jar. Why small wins matter. Goggins carries a cookie jar in his head, a mental stash of past victories he can reach into when things get impossible. When he runs 100 miles and is broken, he remembers a time he finished a brutal race he swore he couldn't. Those memories fuel him. Your cookie jar can be small, a time you showed up when you didn't want to, a promise you kept, a lesson you learned. When pain hits, reach in for proof that you can keep going.
5. Callus the mind. Practice discomfort. Goggins treats mental toughness like a body part you must build calluses on. You don't magically develop grit. You create it by intentional, repeated exposure to discomfort. Cold showers, early wake-ups, hard workouts, disciplined work blocks. These are tiny abrasions that build resilience. Start small. Hold a 1-minute cold shower. Add 5 minutes to a workout. Write for 15 minutes daily. Over time, your mind gets thicker, less sensitive to pain. 6. Taking souls. Flip the script on hardship. He talks about taking souls, an oddly poetic way of saying, use adversity to dominate the situation and surprise people, including yourself. When everyone expects you to wilt, you hold steadier. Picture a runner collapsing in a race and you quietly passing them, not out of malice, but to show that discomfort can be your advantage. Taking souls is about using grit as a competitive edge, not cruelty. 7. On pain versus suffering. Goggins makes a distinction between pain and suffering. Pain is universal. It's inevitable. Suffering is optional. It's the story you tell about that pain. You can let pain define you, Or you can use it as an instrument. Imagine pain as fire. Suffering is staying in the fire because you believe you deserve it. Instead, step through it and use the heat to forge yourself. 8. Rewriting your self-image. A lot of Goggins' progress comes from rewriting the stories he'd accepted about himself. I am a victim. I am weak. I can't do this. He replaced those with active, chosen identities. I show up. I endure. I improve. Changing your identity is less about motivation and more about decision. Decide who you are, then do the small, tedious work that person would do daily. 9. Practical exercises you can use. Here are short, practical actions inspired by Goggins you can start today. 1. The mirror promise. Each morning, say one honest promise out loud to yourself in the mirror. Make it specific and measurable. Stick a note with it where you will see it all day. 2. The cookie jar. Write down 5 moments you exceeded your limits. Keep them in a jar or a notes app and read one whenever you want to quit. 3. The 40% test. Next time you feel done in a workout, a project, or a conversation, do 10% more work. Repeat this habit. It recalibrates your done meter. 4. Callus habit. Pick one small daily discomfort to add. Cold shower, extra push-ups, no snooze alarm. Do it for 30 days to build the mental callus. 5. Suffering check. When you feel stuck, ask, am I in pain or am I suffering? If it's suffering, change the narrative and take one practical step forward.
10. The cost and the trade-offs. Goggins is clear. This life costs something. Obsession with toughness can close you off from softness, from rest, from relationships. His path isn't a one-size-fits-all prescription. Use what helps, discard what harms. The lesson is not to become a machine, but to access strength when you need it, and to develop a discipline that serves your goals. 11. Stories that stick. A couple of short examples. He failed the ASVAB, the military test, multiple times, then refused to accept that failure. He ran races with stress fractures, slept little, and still finished. These stories are extremes, but their meaning is practical. Human potential is often untapped because we accept limits as facts instead of choices. 12. How to make this personal. You don't have to run ultramarathons to be Goggins strong. The book's core is choosing to command your inner life. Replace one self-limiting story with an act of promise. Treat setbacks as training, not verdicts. Build a small ritual that reminds you you're on purpose. 13. Wrap up. The core message. Here's the heart of You Can't Hurt Me in one breath. Most of what holds you back lives in your head. Hard work, brutal honesty, and deliberate exposure to discomfort expand what you think is possible. You won't change overnight, but daily small acts, mirror promises, cookie jars, and calluses will compound. Pain will come. Suffering is optional. Decide who you want to be, then act like them. Closing line. So when the voice in your head says, stop, remember Goggins' challenge. You're probably only at 40%. Reach into your cookie jar, take another step, and build the callus you'll thank yourself for later. You can't be hurt, not by setbacks, not by the noise, if you choose to grow stronger from them.